Happy 1 week away from the STEM competition. I am so excited to have everyone on the VCS campus to celebrate our students' accomplishments in STEM. So most of you know me, but for our visitors, my name is Taylor Maynor. I'm the STEM coordinator for VCS. The intention of this video is to describe the itinerary and the specific challenges so that our volunteers feel confident on Saturday morning. So our challenges will be set up and ready to go by 8 a.m. on Saturday. So you, the volunteers, should arrive by 8 a.m. in order to do the following. Number 1, get your t-shirt if you have not done so already. So obviously our visitors will have to pick up their t-shirts, and this will be in the Student Center. Number 2, enjoy some breakfast in the Student Center. We really want to thank you for helping out the STEM competition from both NVCA, the North Valley Christian Academy, our visiting school, and our VCS volunteers. And number 3 is going to be to gather your necessary materials. So I will provide to you clipboards, timers, score sheets, everything you need, and you can pick that all up in the Student Center. So if you arrive at 8 a.m., that will give you time to get acclimated, get everything you need, and be ready to go. So we will be hosting 4 challenges. The Slingshot challenge will be in the courtyard. The glider will be in the gym. We will have robotics in the STEM 33, our normal robotics room, and we'll have IT coding in room 28. You will notice that we only have 1 team competing in each of the robotics and the IT challenges, so we encourage you to watch as many challenges as possible. So if you're not judging at the time, please go and support all of our student participants and our coaches. You will notice that the Slingshot and glider challenges are set up in 2 different columns, and this is because teams will be rotating. So team 1 will hand their EDN, their engineering design notebook, and that can be in digital or physical form, to the EDN judge. As the EDN judge is scoring the rubric, the team will then proceed to the spec check and interview judge. When the team has completed their spec check and interview, team 1 will then proceed to the performance section of the challenge. At this time, team 2 will step up, hand over their EDN to the EDN judge, and they will also start their spec check and interview. So each judge will repeat the same responsibilities for all of the teams. The idea is to have the EDNs and interviews going on at the same time as another team's performance, as to maximize our efficiency and make sure we're moving through the teams. At the end of the itinerary, you will notice that there is a 15-minute buffer kind of built into our schedule. This is to allow our lead judges to complete the final scoring and determine first, second, and third for each of the challenges. There are time limits on the interviews and performances, so I really do hope to stay on time as closely as possible. Awards will be held in Barnes Hall. This shouldn't take too long considering we don't have a million teams participating. And then participants and judges are going to be dismissed from there. The objective of the robotics challenge is to successfully transport a 1-pound cube through the course. The course will include a 30-degree ramp and speed bumps. Furthermore, the robot must stay within the narrow path that is designated on the field. This challenge will take place in the robotics room in STEM room 33. Alrighty, so this part of the video is for our engineering design notebook, or EDN judges. So we have one of those for each of the challenges. So students are required to submit an engineering design notebook. The purpose of this is to ensure that the students have properly documented their work, justified their decisions, and used the engineering design process. The EDN rubric is the most detailed of all the rubrics, so it kind of walks you through exactly what is to be expected on or in the engineering design notebooks. And the great thing is the students have also had access to these rubrics, so they know what they're supposed to include. I highly encourage the EDN judges to review their rubric at least a few times before arriving to the competition, so that you're familiar with it and that when you're handed that EDN, you're ready to judge it fairly. Remember that a higher score is better, and the maximum score is going to be 25. The first thing that the spec check and interview judge is in charge of is ensuring that the team is qualified to compete. As you can see on the rubric, you must ensure that the team has turned in an engineering design notebook and mark yes or no. You must also check the size constraints of the robot. You will be provided a pre-measured box for you to slide over the robot. The robot must fit within the box to compete. Mark yes if the robot fits and within the size constraint, and mark no if it is too large. Please note that the robot may not compete if it does not fit within the box. You will also be conducting the interview. First, you should mark if the minimum number of teammates are present. You will mark 1 for yes or 0 for no. The interview is timed, so start your timer and inform your students when you start it. The rest of the interview requirements are detailed on the rubric. You should review the rubric carefully before arriving on the day of the competition. 0 indicates that an aspect of the rubric was not present at all. If that featured aspect is included, the scores would range from 1 to 5, with 5 being the best. Question and answers are encouraged from our judges, but I ask that you keep in mind the time limit as to allow the students the opportunity to touch base on every required aspect of the rubric. The measurement and recorder timer judge will work closely together to score the performance rubric. The measurement judge will announce the results to the recorder and timer judge, and the recorder's main job is to ensure that everything is documented accurately. Here are some rules to keep in mind for this competition. The robot can be operated under driver control or it can be autonomous. The robot will be placed on the course by a team member, not by a judge. There will be 2 timing aspects to this competition. The robot will have 3 attempts to complete the course in the shortest amount of time. There is no penalty for trying 3 times because the shortest time will be used for scoring at the end. All attempts must be completed within 12 total minutes. So you have your individual time trials that all must be completed within the 12-minute interval, or the 12-minute time limit. So the recorder timer judge will set the timer and they will announce when they start it. The measurement judge will also run a stopwatch to time the time trials. They will say go to start the time trial, and the judge will stop the time when the entire robot returns to the starting position, which will be noted with a box on the field, which is where the robot will start. These times will be reported by the measurement judge to the recorder timer judge, who will then mark the rubric accordingly. The judges will also be watching to ensure that the robot meets the criteria. This rubric at the top of the performance page will be used for all 3 time trials. The first criteria is that the robot maintains control of the cube throughout the entire course. You will mark yes on the rubric by writing T1 for trial 1 if the robot successfully completes the course from start to finish with the cube. If at any point the robot starts with the cube, loses it, and then regains control, this is going to be denoted by loses cube, where you will mark T1 on that box for trial 1. You will mark no with T1 for trial 1 if the robot lost contact and never regained control of the cube. You will repeat this process for all 3 time trials by marking T2 for trial 2 and T3 for trial 3 on the same rubric. The trial with the shortest time will be used for final scoring. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I trust that you will come to the competition on Saturday morning having reviewed your materials and ready to go. If you have any questions about your responsibilities or about the schedule of the day or anything related to this event, please do not hesitate to reach out to me at tadams, TADAMS, at valleychristianaz.org. Thank you, and I can't wait to see you all next week.